Hey, football fans, Brian Sweeney, voice of the Women's Football Alliance Division I National Championship game, and we are in the final week of the regular season. This week, the Minnesota Vixen look to continue their winning way as the Dallas Elite Mustangs head north to try and give Minnesota their first loss of the season. We also look at the American nominations as we get ready for the playoffs on the way to the national championships in Canton, Ohio, July 23rd and 24th. This and more on the road to Canton. As always, I am joined by the owner of Football Game Plan, Emory Hunt. Emory, the final week of the regular season is here, and I think we are in for some great football.
Oh, I can't wait, man. It's going to be outstanding this week. You look at last week, 3 teams played. Many people had byes, Boston, DC, and Tampa. And Minnesota had to, they got ready to play. But Sioux Falls has so many injuries that they had to cancel that game. So we didn't get to see a lot of teams play last week, but excited for the final week of the season.
In a game that would ensure the Cali Wars secure a first-round home game, they played a hard-fought matchup with another Division I team, the Arlington Impact. Arlington, who 2 weeks ago lost to the Vixen, had hoped to finish their regular season with a win, but Cali War played harder, showing why they have been in the last 2 national championships, winning 20-12. The final Division I team, Dallas Elite Mustangs, hosted Division III Tulsa Threat and were victorious by a final score of 36-0.
And as we look at the schedule, as you see up there on your screen, in the final week of the season, Boston will be on the road to play Detroit. DC will host Baltimore. Tampa Bay is at Jacksonville. Cali War is at Sacramento. Arlington gets a much-needed bye, and on the only Division I versus Division I matchup on the schedule, Dallas Elite plays at Minnesota.
The WFA will be highlighting a player of the week each week this season. For week 6, we honor Shante Bonds, who plays safety, defensive back, wide receiver, and running back for the Boston Renegades. In Boston's 70-0 win over the DC Divas in week 6, the 2018 National Championship MVP averaged just over 13 yards per carry and had 2 touchdowns. Boston, now 4-0 on the year, is on the road for the final week of the regular season, where they will play the 3-2 Detroit Dark Angels. Back in week 1, when these teams met in Boston, Detroit was shut out 62-0.
The Minnesota Vixen are gunning for their 3rd undefeated season in franchise history. And recently, Brian sat down with their head coach, Ryan McCauley, and their star defensive tackle of 23 years, Cynthia "Red" Bryant.
All right, so I am here with Coach Ryan McCauley of the Minnesota Vixen and one of the longest tenured players in women's football, Cynthia "Red" Bryant. I want to thank you both for joining me this evening.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
So first things first, Red, I have known you now for 6-7 seasons. I don't know where the nickname came from. Could you tell us where Red comes from?
My mother. I've been red since I was a baby. I was born with red hair, pink lips, and I have freckles. So my mom calls me her redhead baby.
Okay. Yes. I do know that, as the public address announcer for the Minnesota Vixen, I have a lot of fun when I get to say your name. It's one of the highlights of the season for me is getting to announce one of your sacks or one of your takeaways, a fumble recovery, things like that. Now, Coach McCauley, you are here with the Minnesota Vixen in your 2nd season of games, but really your 3rd season of being a coach for the team because COVID obviously canceled a season. What brought you to women's football?
A little bit of luck. So just graduating college with my teaching degree and having a professor who always likes to push more and more things on us, the students that he's worked with. And he forwarded along a Facebook ad that the Vixen were looking for coaches. I went in, with the intention of interviewing for an assistant coaching position. But after the interview, sitting down with Laura and James and Griff at the time, Laura called back the next day, I think, and asked if I would consider being the head coach, not just an assistant coach. So, and 3 years later, here I am, still kicking, still having a really, really good time with it.
And now, Red, you've obviously had a number of coaches. I mean, you were part of the barnstorming tour when women's football really kicked off back in 1999 for this country. You are a member of the Women's Football Hall of Fame. I really don't even know how many times you've been listed as an All-American. I mean, your resume for women's football has to be one of the greatest. When you look at all the coaches you've had over the years, I mean, now we know Coach McCauley, he's also the defensive coordinator. Have a lot of your coaches been more defensive oriented, offensive oriented? I mean, where does he fit into that line?
So our past coaches have been more offense oriented. They offense. I think McCauley can do it all, though, truthfully. The first 2 years he was offense. This year he is defense. He stepped in a defensive coordinator for us, and he's doing an awesome job. So I think he just has a football brain, so can probably step into any part of the game and be coaching it. So that's a blessing for us.
You know, you say he started off as offense and he's, progressed towards defense. And I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, this is the Minnesota Vixens' 5th season playing as a WFA team, first time in Division I. Back in 2017, the first year of the WFA, the defense allowed an average of 17.3 points per game. In the second year in 2018, that number dropped down to 12. In 2019, which would be Coach McCauley's first season with the team, it was 8 points per game. And now here in 2021, we're down to 3 points per game. Now, I like to think, Red, that you and that defensive line, your safeties, your tackles, you guys have a big part of that. What have you done differently in the last 4 years to keep bringing that number down even lower?
We buying in to the whole thing of believing in one another and knowing that we got each other's back, and just being able to play more as a cohesive unit, and understanding that there is not just one, there's 11 of us on that field at that time. We all matter. That's our thing. We all matter. There's not one person on a team that doesn't matter.
And I would agree with you. I mean, you look at the stats across the board for the defense. I mean, the number of tackles, the number of sacks, the number of takeaways, fumble recoveries, interceptions, it's very well spread out across the whole defense. There isn't just one superstar, so to speak. You all play a huge role in those victories. And I mean, especially if you look at your last game against Arlington Impact, that was a game that on paper anyway could have gone either way, but yet your defense stepped up and you really stopped the game. I mean, when you went into that game, when you went into that huddle before the game, you get together, and I know you always give your team, as one of the captains, you give them a little bit of a pep talk before you start with the squad up chant. I mean, what do you say before a game like that has so much on the line?
So it wasn't just about that game being, and it was important to us because we haven't beaten a Texas team in 23 years since I've been playing. Not only that, is just showing that the Vixens aren't a joke. We're just not just the longest lasting team or started up the new era of football. We're just, that kind of grandma team. I think I'm the only grandma on the team that take us serious, that we're serious and we're coming to play, and we deserve to be where we're at. So that was the point of what we were trying to prove, and we're going to continue to prove, is that we're for real, and Minnesota football is real. So that's what we're out here to prove. Let them know.
Coach, I mean, you coach high school ball as well, or you're an assistant coach for high school, and you've led a state a team to the state championship or helped lead them there. I mean, how much similarity do you see between high school ball and what these women do on the field?
There's a pretty big similarity, especially with you're talking high level teams. Like you said, I was lucky enough to be a part of a state championship team with Wayzata, and then obviously coming in here to the Vixen in my third year and being able to see the buy-in from the players with the high school state championship team and the buy-in that you have with the Vixen players here, it's really similar. And in both cases, you've got players that are not only bought into the system, but bought into the idea of being together and understanding that if they do their 1/11th of their job or 1/11th of the job on a specific play, they've done their job, trust the people next to them to do theirs. And then there's always the constant drive to improve. And that it starts with Red up front, just the wanting to be better and wanting to continue to grind technique and grind against the best offenses and the best players in the league, wanting to step up into that spotlight and say, like Red said, we're here too. So just that yearning to always be better and that drive to always be better, that there's huge similarities between what I've seen at the high school level and with this team.
Now, the Minnesota Vixens' last undefeated regular season was back in 2016, where they went 8-0 in the regular season, and then they went on and played in the IWFL National Championship game, where they lost to the Utah Falcons, who now play in a different league as well. I mean, Red, you were on that team. You're on this team. Is this team have more drive to them? Do they have what it takes to get not only to Canton, Ohio on July 24th for that national championship game, but do they have this time, does the team have what it's going to take to win that national championship game, in your opinion?
Yeah, the difference of this team in 2016 when we went to Utah is that we believe in each other, and we believe that if we play together and stay together as a team, nobody can beat us. Back in 2016, there was people who had their own individual ways, and believed that at that time that they could do it. They could do it by themselves, or they wasn't trusting their sister, on the side of them. And I think this team here has grinded together. We have, we've grinded in practices. We've done all that. And when we get on that field, we just connect and everybody's rooting for everybody. And I think that is the difference, is that you can have a team full of talent, but if that team full of talent don't trust or believe in one another, they're going nowhere. So we have talent, we have trust, and we believe in one another, and we're just hitting our stride. We are just, that takes time to mold. And you got people who buy in, we got layers, and we didn't have layers before. It was only trust in certain people, but we have layers now. So, and when you have coaches, the coaching staff that we have that make you want to be better, that teach you things and have aha moments. Like, I've been playing 23 years, but I'm still learning. There's things that people in the past wouldn't take time out to teach you. And McCauley has taught me. I done had plenty of, oh my gosh. And I'm relearning how to do some things. So, that, and just the coaches' enthusiasm, how they're so enthusiastic when they see you do a play, and everybody counts. It just makes you want to play for them. So with all of that, you have nothing but a dream team here.
Ryan, you want to touch on that at all?
Red hit the nail on the head again. We have an incredibly talented team, and compared to where we were in 2019, which was also a talented team, but the players that we've added, or the players that we've brought back into the fold from past Vixen teams, have just added to that talent pool. But like Red said, talent doesn't mean anything if there's not that strive to be together and that strive to use the talent for the betterment of the team and not just use the talent for individual accolades. And Red mentioned it again, just grinding. And we've been doing nothing but grinding since January. We put the pads on earlier this year. We were hitting earlier this year. And speaking from a defense perspective, every day in practice, we go up against an offense that just had 6 named All-Americans and half dozen other players that are worthy, if not more, of being named All-Americans. So we practice and we grind against what we feel is the best. And our offense does the same. And it's just that perfect storm of talent coming together and talent that wants to work hard, wants to show up every day to be better and be there for each other. So I think that's a great recipe for success.
Now, Red, last year when COVID canceled the season, I mean, that would have been your 22nd year last year. What does a player do who's been in the league that long to stay not only mentally in shape for the game of football, because there's so much, thought that's involved. I mean, people unfortunately get the idea that you're just out there chasing a ball, but you're memorizing plays, you're learning positioning, and all those things. But what did you also do, physically to stay in shape for the game? I mean, it's not like you could take the year off and just sit and do nothing. I know you had to have done something to keep yourself physically prepared for the next season.
So, with me, I've always said since the beginning that I got a target on my back, meaning I'm older. You know what I'm saying? So I got to compete. I've always got to earn my way. I don't ever want to be that one to be like, why is she still playing? I want to make an impact on what I'm doing. So for me, I've always been a person to work out. So I work out. I'm going to continue to work out even after I'm retired. But it's just for my mental, it's just working out. And I bought a bike. I rode the bike. We got a little gym in our basement. So, my partner is a professional bodybuilder. So just having that and having that support behind me. Yeah, I've just been grinding it out. I've been keeping busy. Know that, very busy.
So you mentioned the word retirement in that statement. Is retirement, Ryan's already shaking his head no. Is retirement in the near future? Is it 5 years down the line? Or is it something that you're not even going to think about until you're ready to think about it?
I take it day by day and year by year. I do have end time just for me in my world, because I do have grandchildren and I've given this 23 years. So I do have a plan of when I would love to just, say, hey, and my grandkids come to the games. They love watching me play. And it's for them, to show that you can do anything you put your mind to. And if you're not ready to stop and you have that desire and you put in that work, you can continue. Age is nothing but a number, and that's why I go out here and do this every day for, it's for the young ladies and for the young girls coming up and that want to play this sport, but it's also for people who are my age, who are thinking that they can't do nothing but go for a walk or they go on a trail. If you want to get out there and get on a softball league or something like that, 35 and up, go do it. Just live your life, live your best life. And what COVID taught me is to live your best life and be as happy as you can be. So as long as I'm out there smashing and crashing, I'm going to do this.
And I've seen you during a game, and I've seen you come up from a sack, and you have the biggest smile on your face, and I've seen your son, and I've seen your grandchildren at the games, and the amount of pride that they have seeing you out on that field is really exciting to see. And I mean, I don't want to see you retire anytime soon. So I'm glad you skirted the answer and told us that it's only in your heart. You're the only person right now that knows when that day will come. And Ryan's probably very happy to hear that as well, because you would be impossible to replace on that field, not just for your playing ability, but for your leadership role as well. And the fact that every year when those new rookies come on board, I mean, you take them under your wings and you teach them and you guide them and you mold them. Because so many of these women, as you stated, they come onto the football field having not played this sport before. And it is different than playing another sport. And I mean, that has to make you feel really good knowing that you have this many, 23 years worth of rookies, including your own rookie season, that have worked with you. And so for that, I congratulate you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So obviously we have this big field behind me in Canton, Ohio, and July 23rd and 24th, y'all want to be there.
We're going to be there. We're going to be there.
You're going to be there. And I mean,
yes,
it's going to be exciting. I mean, it's obviously one of the biggest fields that, I mean, Ryan, I know you coached at US Bank Stadium, but this is the Hall of Fame stadium. This is different. This is something special. This is one of those meccas in football. I mean, and for you, Red, I'm sure this means a lot to you too, getting to play at a stadium that's, this isn't a high school field where so many women's football teams have to play their games, or even a college field where you're fortunate enough to play your home games this season. This is something that the NFL has built just for football. I mean, how are you preparing yourself, coach, and your team for the possibility, or for, as you say, for when you're playing on this field?
Well, the preparation starts making sure that we're going 1 week at a time here. As fun as it is to talk about Canton, as fun as it is to talk about playoffs, we've got Dallas coming to our home field this weekend. And if we don't take care of that first, the rest of it could be all for naught. So just making sure that whether it's myself or Coach Mattson kind of coming up with a keyword to keep focusing on the week, and just making sure that we are focused on the task at hand. It starts with us, and if we're looking ahead, that's going to trickle down to the players. So just making sure that we do our best to keep our focus in the moment, help players keep their focus in the moment, and constantly saying, all right, we hit this watermark now we push that higher. We're always, again, bettering our best. Trying to go 1-0 in every single rep, making sure that in practice we're putting our best foot forward, so that in games we can put our best foot forward. That's how we'll end up in Canton.
Well, I want to thank you both for taking.
What he said. What he said. But we going to Canton.
I want to thank you both very much for the time and for allowing me to ask you these questions. I truly am grateful for what the Minnesota Vixen has done for me since 2015. And I wish you both the best of luck the rest of the season. Thank you.
Thanks, Sweeney. If I could, one moment, just want to make sure that we also, I know this is about defense, but make sure we shout out our offense too. When they're putting up points, it makes the defensive job a lot easier. And then they've been putting up points in bunches this year. So just want to make sure that they get their shout out too.
Yes. Shout out to the whole team. Squad up. Yeah.
This week's Game of the Week features the 5-0 Minnesota Vixen hosting the 3-2 Dallas Elite Mustangs. While Minnesota is looking to finish the regular season undefeated for the first time since 2016, the Mustangs are hoping to build on a 2-game winning streak heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, when you're building on that momentum, it's key because you want to stack positive weeks, against one another, and building that momentum, like you talked about, is all evident and all important when you're playing football, especially when you're backed up against the playoffs. So I think they should come out and try to do things just like they've always done. It obviously has worked for them these last couple of weeks, and we know Minnesota's a strong team, so we know how they're going to come out and play. But if you're Dallas, you really want to come out and try to take what has worked for you these last couple of weeks and try to add some more flair to it as you go into the playoffs. Because if you're playing your best ball in the postseason, you're going to be playing a long time in the postseason for that matter.
Yeah, the playoff picture is all but set for 2021. As things look today for Division I, Boston at 4-0 should start the playoffs with a bye before hosting the winner of the 5-0 Tampa Bay Inferno and 1-2 DC Divas game. On the other side of the bracket, Cali War, now 5-1, will either see a second matchup within 3 weeks with 4-2 Arlington, or their first look at the 3-2 Dallas Elite Mustangs. The 5-0 Minnesota Vixen will then receive a visit from the other Texas Division I team in the first round. Home field advantage is still slated to run through Minnesota and Boston. Emory, are you surprised that we are still looking at Minnesota and Boston as hosts for the division championships?
Not at all. They have been the most consistent teams all throughout the season. They're really good on both sides of the ball. They've been consistent. And to me, consistency is everything when you're talking about playoff football and you talk about this season. And to me, that's where the champion will come from. And yeah, we'll have an upset or two somewhere along the way, but I'm not surprised that we're talking about Minnesota and Boston right now.
Another exciting announcement this past week was the naming of the 2021 All-American teams. Each season, teams across all three divisions nominate players on offense, defense, and special teams to be recognized in the All-American game during National Championship weekend. After this, players are nominated. They are ranked on their stats and their team's Massey ratings. This year, that game will be played at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, July 24th in Canton, Ohio, right before the Division I National Championship game. Emory, any thoughts that you have on the All-American nominations this season?
Just congratulations. That's a huge honor considering all we've gone through the past year and what we had to go through to get this season off the ground. So anyone that's getting those accolades, it's well earned in 2021.
This is the final week of the regular season, and we will get to see Minnesota in control of their own playoff postseason destiny on the Game of the Week. Follow For the Fans HQ on Twitter and Instagram to find out where you can watch the Mustangs at Vixen. And remember to follow the Women's Football Alliance on all social media platforms. Tickets are available to the National Championship Weekend, July 23rd and 24th in Canton, Ohio, by heading to www.hofvillage.com and clicking on events. For Emory Hunt, I'm Brian Sweeney, and we'll see you next week for the first week of the playoffs on the road to Canton.